Hi everyone, I hope everybody is doing well. So today what I want to do is build a little dress to go onto our display. I will be working on a polystyrene cone. You can obviously get these in all different sizes. This one is 20 centimeters in height by approximately 8 centimeters in width. You can find polystyrene cones in The Range, in Hobbycraft, and also on Amazon. And obviously if you just search in polystyrene cones into Google, obviously all your options will come up as well, depending on obviously how big you want this. Now all the prints are designed to fit on whatever cone you have decided. I have sort of like got my smaller cone out as well, and had a play about with the prints that I've created, and they fit perfectly also. So this is the pink I have chosen, which is Pearl Blush by Artiste. I always pronounce it like that, you know what I'm like. It is like the metallic. So that is the pink I have chosen. However, you don't have to have the metallic paint, because obviously we're going to cover the whole thing in glitter as well. So you might want to sort of like mix up, if you've only got some sort of like red paint, just add a little bit of white, mix up your pink, and then paint your whole cone in your chosen colour. So the first tip I'm going to give you is you're going to need to get a skewer. This is going to help you paint all your cone. I'll just stick that up there. And it's going to give you a handle to paint. You will then need to sort of, obviously this is quite long, so you need to snap that off. Just get yourself some polystyrene or a cardboard box, anything like that. So once everything is painted, you can then stick that into your cardboard and let that dry. So I've now painted all my cone in the blush pink. And then once that was dried, I just went all over with some clear PVA glue and then added some white iridescent glitter all over the cone. I do have the larger flakes as well, which I got from a shop called Boys. Obviously we cover this bottom part here, so I don't want to add any more glitter, because obviously you're not going to see this and it's just going to be sort of like a waste underneath the material that we're going to pop on. So I'll probably glitter everything last as well. So I'm just going to wait for that to dry. I have pulled my cone now off the stick, so you can keep it flat like this, or you can add a base. So these do not come in the kits, however I know a lot of you have got these domes, and I'm going to use this base for my dress. So if you've gone for the smaller cone, I would probably flip it this way and then attach your cone onto the smaller rim. Obviously if you've gone for the bigger cone like me, you can then flip it this way and you've got a bigger area to glue it on. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my glue gun just along this edge here and then sit my cone central onto this stand. So just be careful if you are using your glue gun, only because your polystyrene could melt, especially if you've got quite a high temperature glue gun. So you don't have to go too mad with your glue. Obviously the melting part, if it's going to happen, is going to go underneath anyway. It just might not make your cone sit, you know, straight. So another option, if you do not want to use your glue gun, is use your tacky glue and obviously attach that. If the bottom of your cone is all sort of like out, because I know sometimes you can get all the polystyrene that's picked out already and it's not quite flat, you can just add a little cardboard circle onto that and then obviously use your tacky glue over the top. So there's a couple of options. However, I'm going to be using my glue gun. So once your base is in place, you are now going to get your little satin frill. It is elasticated, so it's really easy to work with. It is super cute. So what we're going to do now is place this along the bottom of our cone. I'm just going to move the camera. Now I do have a little nick out of my little cone, so I'm going to place this to the back. Obviously I can fill it out later on just with a little polyfiller if need be. Might end up getting covered once I put the rest of the glitter on. So I'm going to keep that to the back for now. Take in your skirt. You're going to now decide what length you want, roughly, to your cone. You might want it further up, further down. I'm just going to naturally sit it to the bottom. We're not gluing the front just yet. We're going to twist the cone around, pull this elastic, place your glue gun just on the back piece there, and then you're going to stretch this other elastic over the top, line your frill up and glue that down. So you might need to trim off any excess, especially if you've got a bit of an overlap. That just tends to sit okay with mine, but you might need to adjust yours. Don't worry about getting it straight at all at the front just yet. We're just going to glue this back part. So I'm just going to use my glue gun and just attach these here. So I've now just placed my glue here, and then obviously you're going to have a gap like this. We don't want to glue this to the comb, because what will happen is it'll stop your skirt from, coming out, naturally sitting. So just peel this back slightly and then just add a little bit of glue onto your fabric and not onto your cone. And then join that next part up there. If need be, you can then add a little bit of glue just running down here or just at the bottom, and then just join that little piece there as well. So I did add a tiny bit, can't even find it now, oh there we go, of glue gun just at the bottom of that part there. It just holds everything into place. So now we've got the glue here. What you need to do now is just flip around your cone, and then you're going to pull down your dress and make everything in line all the way around. So obviously this is my guide. So again, just have a play about and make sure all your skirt is in line. Once you are happy with the placement of your skirt, we are now going to dip into some tacky glue and a brush. And what you're going to do is dip into your tacky glue. You're going to pull your elastic forward, just run your tacky glue underneath, and then just let it naturally ping back. You don't have to go all the way around, so I'm just going to add some, along here, at the sides, and then obviously when all that dries, it will stick nicely. If we was to use our glue gun, like I said previously, it could start melting your polystyrene and not stick very well. I know tacky glue takes a little bit longer to dry, but it's definitely worth doing it this way than using your glue gun. So I've just popped you down. So again, you will find another frill. Obviously one's going to be longer than the other, because obviously this is going to be for the sleeves. And then the bottom part you'll see is obviously going to wrap around your cone. So what we're going to do now is cut right the way along this loop here. Let me just bring you up to show you. So you're just going to use your scissors on this second loop. You're going to follow it all the way along with your scissors. So you should now have something that looks like this. I've already had to cut mine because I didn't know what size we need to go for, but obviously yours is going to be all in one strip. So what you will need to do now, obviously your strip is going to be long like this, is take your thumb or finger and you're going to wrap this around. So like say you will have one piece, and then snip that off. And then carrying on with your other piece, you're going to wrap it around. You'll obviously have some excess. Pulling the elastic round and measure it. So if you measured it from your thumb like I have, or your finger, you'll obviously have to use the same with both sleeves. So because I took my thumb to measure mine, what I'm going to do now is wrap this around my thumb, pulling it with the elastic. I'm going to line it all up. And then I'm going to just place my glue gun just underneath this part here. So just be careful when you're doing this. You might want to sort of like get the shape like this and then pop your thumb out, keeping it squeezed, and then add it there. You don't want to be burning your thumb with your glue gun. So what I'm going to do, let me just show you again. Wrap this around my thumb. This is going to give me my size. Pull this elastic over. Slide it off my thumb. Pop my finger inside, pull this back and add my glue gun. I'm going to do exactly the same again with my thumb on this one, and then you'll have a couple of little loops like this. We now have 2 little sleeves, and then you will obviously have your excess that you've cut off. So it's definitely worth keeping hold of this, especially if you want to split it and use the lace on a different bake to match this one, or the satin obviously. So keep that in your little scrap box. Now we're going to bring back the cone. Just pop my sleeves on my fingers for now, just so they don't roll off my table. So depending on where your frill, you know, if you've gone for a smaller cone, a bigger cone, we're now going to measure from the frill up here of where our sleeves are going to go. So just before we do that, we are not going to glue these on. We are going to use some pins. The pins do not come in the kit, because I know the majority of you have got a sewing box. You just need some basic pins. These are just the ones that I've pulled out of my little sewing box. Because, like I say, we're not going to glue these on. We are going to attach these with pins. So from the bottom of your frill, wherever it ends, we are now going to measure 2 inches up. I've had a play about, you might see little holes in mine, of where the sleeves looked better. Obviously, the further up they go, it looks like too tall. It completely looked out of place. So what I'm going to do is take the bottom part of my frill. Again, it doesn't matter what size cone you are working on. Just go 2 inches up, which is here. And I'm just going to give myself a little guide just by poking a pin in there. So let me just double check. So my pin is roughly 2 inches from my frill. So I did find in my sewing box 2 white head pins. Obviously you can buy the pins without the heads you know, attached as well. I just thought this is going to blend in a little bit better with my sleeves. So what I'm going to do is take this guide. I'm going to pop this pin where my join is, where my glue is, in my sleeve, like this. And then I'm going to use this guide and attach my sleeve over here with my pin. So you can obviously have a play about, but I think it looked a little bit better 2 inches, like say, in height. So I'm going to press that in there, and that stops your sleeve squishing against your cone if you was to glue this, and that white is sort of like blended in. Like I say, you might not want the ones with the ends on. And then I'm going to do exactly the same, just following this guide, and then attach my other sleeve with my white pin. So once you're happy with the placement of your little sleeves, you know, there is quite a lot of adjustment if needed, because obviously you're only using pins. So, you know, you can pop it in and think, oh no, it looks too high, too low, pop it back out, pop it back in. A tip I would give you, rather than going straight in with your pin, is to pop your pin at an angle. That way your sleeves will come out like this. So once you're happy with the placement, I know a few of you have already got these bows from your previous kits that are popped in for you. However, these will be included in this kit as well. So I have now attached my bow just in the middle of my sleeves using a pin. So we're going to try and avoid using our glue gun on any of this, because what might happen, as we always keep saying, it might melt your polystyrene, and it just gives you a lot more leeway of sort of like pulling it out and popping it into place. So I have gone here. You might want to go further up or further down. Just going to adjust those. Like this. Next in your kit you will find 2 more little bows. I have placed my little pins already inside these, as you can see. So I've just sort of separated those and pushed those in. And I want these at the bottom of my skirt. You can obviously use your glue gun or tacky glue on this, because you are not going directly onto your polystyrene. But like I say, I do want to try and avoid the glue, just in case you put something down. Oh, we've got a little bug joining us. Go away. We do not want you. So, you know, it just gives you a little bit of leeway, rather than committing and not being able to adjust your bows if they're in the wrong place. So I'm just going to have a play about. I've got my pins already in, and then I'm going to pop these, guess, along this edge here. So my bows are now in place, and how adorable is this looking? So if you cannot get hold of these little copper heads, like I say, I would love to have put these in your kit, but I just don't have enough. I've had them years. You can obviously, you know, the white ones that I've popped in for my sleeves. Let me just grab one. You can obviously paint these in gold if you want to. Just another tip with your acrylic paint. Just let those dry and then pop those into place as well. I've just popped you down. This is the last part of the kit. You might not want to use it all. I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to use it all yet. Obviously, I'm going to have a play about. So we have some ribbon, a straight tape measure, a swirly tape measure, 5 pink crystals, 2 birds, a gold thimble, a gold thread with pink around the spool. We also have a sign. Obviously, I've mounted this on the back with blue, just to match our little Cinderella, because that's what it's based on. And this was a quote from the film, "We can make her dress so pretty." And yes, we can. So you've also got one of those. You've also got some gold scissors as well. So what I'm going to do now is just have a play about with the bottom part of my dress. You can use your tacky glue for this, your glue gun, or your little pins as well. So let me have a play about and then I'll be back. So out of the kit so far, I have used the tape measure and I've just put it along here, as you can see, and some scissors. I use my tacky glue to attach this part and my glue gun to attach this part. Obviously, like we've said all the way along, you are best avoiding your glue gun on your cone, or you can add a little pin as well. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a play about with some other bits and pieces and then I'll be back. I just thought I'd jump in and film this part. Excuse the rain, it's absolutely chucking it down. So I just want to put my ribbon into place. I'd rather sort of like show you on camera rather than saying, you know, this is what I've made earlier. So I'm going to take my satin ribbon and take the non-shiny part to the back of my cone. Let me just lift you up a little bit so you can see this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my ribbon around like this. I already have it in my ideas to have my sign at the top of this part. So next what I'm going to do is just add a little pin in there like this, and then what I did was just rippled the side, added another pin, and then rippled the other side and added another pin. So obviously if you want your ripples more or less even, you can have a play about with your pins. And now what I want to do is flip this around. I'm not going to cut off the extra part of the ribbon. Obviously you might have to singe these edges. I'm just going to cross these over at the back, pull it up just so it's not so flat on my cone, and then again I'm going to add another pin. So I now have a crossover at the front and a crossover at the back. So next what I want to do is get the little swirly tape measure, which is this one. I'm going to use my glue gun because obviously I've got something to attach it to, just on this part here. And I'm going to angle that down, pinch it and squeeze it so it's like a 3D effect. Pop some glue gun on there and then squeeze that onto my ribbon. Oops, let me just grab that like this. So I'm not going to sit that flat onto my ribbon. I do want this coming out a little bit, so I'm just going to use my glue gun and attach that. So my little swirly tape measure is now in place, and now I'm going to go up to this top part here, and I'm going to take my thimble and my little needle and thread. I'm going to take 2 cocktail sticks. I'm just going to trim off both of these pointy edges. I am then going to use my glue gun and attach my thimble to my little cocktail stick here and my cotton and thread on here. So these are now attached, You can flip these over. As you all know, I never decorate to the back because obviously it's just for my display. However, you might want to go over with your acrylic paints and paint over your little sticks and your glue. So I've just placed these just by pushing my cocktail sticks inside the polystyrene cone. I have then added 3 pink crystals on the top just to fill out the gap, and a little star on the top. So the stars do not come included in your kit. However, I know a lot of you have already got these. We discussed these on live the other evening. They come in loads of different colours. What I did with this is just glued a cocktail stick on the back and painted it in gold. So I did end up adding a few more crystals to the top, the extra 2 that I had. I've popped a bird on this side of the ribbon. I went down here and added another one and then rippled my sign to the front using my tacky glue. And this is the finished result. How adorable is this cute little dress? I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Cannot wait to see what you create. Goodbye, everybody.